welcome to another episode of Conscious Roots TV.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We're so happy you're here.
But really. So we decided to create a series of how-to videos that are all centered in diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice.
Ooh, you know, those easy peasy topics we all think about every moment of the day. In this episode in particular, we're going to be talking about morning routines specifically for social justice warriors.
Ooh, because you got to fill your own pail before
Yes.
you can go out in the world and serve other people.
Exactly. So when we think about how we start our day, it actually has such a huge direct impact on the rest of our day and how it goes. So
Right.
when we wake up in the morning, however we start our day and put the day into motion is usually how the day is going to continue to go. So if we can start it in a clear and focused way, it's probably going to go a little bit more according to plan than if it's a little bit chaotic.
Right. We've all had those days where you start out and just one thing after another seems to snowball. And then you've also had those days where you start out and it's like, oh my gosh, sunshine and rainbows and just miraculousness. And when you're working in the realm of social justice, there is so much emotional labor involved. Plus, talking and fighting against oppression in and of itself is oppressive, as you're, anytime you're talking about it, you're being oppressed because you're living it out again and again and again as you talk about it.
So the thing that we hear the complaints about the most when it comes to living a more equitable life is, how do I sustain it? Once you open your heart to the problems of the world, it kind of feels like it's going to be broken forever. But that doesn't have to be the case.
It doesn't have to be the case. So we're going to walk you through what we do in the mornings to set our days out for success.
I'm very excited. Nady, you want to share first?
Sure. So the first thing I do, I wake up.
Like just a duckling hatching.
I was thinking of a baby velociraptor, but that's okay.
Oh.
Duckling is cute.
Specific. Okay.
I wake up, I brush my teeth, I put on my beloved robe. God, I love that thing. And then I make some hot water with lemon and honey because that is a great way to kickstart my digestion for the day. So
Nice.
drink that. And then I meditate for about 10 to 20 minutes. I prefer to do guided meditations with Deepak Chopra. I find them very soothing. And then at the end of that meditation, I do another one where I visualize my entire day going as perfectly and as smoothly as possible.
Ooh, I love that.
It's amazing. And then after I do that, I call in specific ancestors as well as spirit guides of light to walk this path with me today and to help me speak my truth and to do no harm to others and to move about the world in as kind of as loving of a way as possible. So
Amazing.
that's that step. And then I gratitude. Oh, and while I do that, I also love to use different kinds of crystals or stones. So I might use amethyst if I'm trying to clear out some negative energy, or I might use this beautiful blue one, which I think is lapis lazuli, if I am having a speaking engagement or something that day, because that also helps open up the throat and allows you to communicate more clearly and effectively. I feel like
learning something, y'all.
maybe I should just hang on to that for the rest of this video, right? And then I do my journaling. So I've been keeping a gratitude journal for about 8 years now.
Oh my goodness.
And here's one of them. I've kept all of them so far, so I have like dozens of them. But that's me. And then inside of it, I just do a couple simple things. So I write down things that I'm grateful for from the day before. And then a specific spiritual advisor gave me a few affirmations, and I write those every day as well. And then I have this Happiness Project journal.
Yes.
I just write like 2 sentences a day. It's so simple, and it just is really cool because then I can look back on previous days and be like, oh, that happened. It's just cool to get to see how my life has evolved over the past few years. It's super, super cool. And then I have a couple books, one of which I read every single day. So that's the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. There's a reading, as you can see, it's well loved. My cat even peed on it. Still have that copy,
but
though.
it's resilient, you know?
There's a reading for every day. So I read the reading of the day. And then I also, each month I try to read a different book in the realm of helping myself get better so I can do better. And so this was my book for December, Everything is Figureoutable by Marie Forleo. It was amazing. And I read along, I complete any kind of exercises or prompts from the book and stuff like that, just so I can grow my own skills. intentionally in the morning. And then the last thing I do is kind of cheesy. Ooh. But I listen to pump up music. So I do one or
give
two
me some
songs.
examples.
Oh, I mean anything Beyonce, right?
Duh,
Or Lizzo,
yeah.
hello.
Oh,
or,
yes.
Or Freddie Mercury. Picture me with
me now.
Picture me with dark hair.
Oh.
And a mustache. That's a video for another time. But then I dance, or I might jump on my trampoline, do some rebounding for one or two songs, just to get the blood flowing, the heart pumping, right? So that's my morning routine. It takes me like 45 minutes to an hour, so it's not long at all. It's pretty easy, and like once you get into it and just carve that time out, maybe you get up a little bit earlier. It really is pretty easy to maintain it. I've been doing that since 2012 now, so 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I started in January of 2012.
What I like so much about that morning routine is I feel like it's super accessible. Like the thing that I've always been intimidated by when it comes to journaling is like, oh my God, what am I going to write about every day for years?
You'll find plenty.
And I think sometimes we tend to like overestimate and think negatively about the possibility rather than just saying, actually, I don't need to know how it's all going to shake out. Maybe I just get started.
Right.
And so seeing that you have a journal where you just record 2 sentences a day just felt like, oh, okay, I can definitely do that.
So easy, right? So what do you do? Tell me all about it. Tell me all about it.
Well, I'm very excited to share, but I'm a little upset that I'm following that, but it's okay. All right. So if you've been watching our previous videos, which I hope so, subscribe if you haven't.
I mean, click whatever. Click it down there.
Or ticket. So if you've been watching our other videos, you've heard me mention that I have got a couple of mental illness diagnoses. And so staying on top of that is really, really important to me. So what I've actually set up for the beginning of my routine, which I did not bring because it's that sacred in my routine, is my pill caddy. And so I have got some daily medications that it's really important that I take. And so what I've basically done is I've set up my morning routine such that the easiest thing to do is the thing that I need to be doing. So I always have a water bottle and my pill caddy right next to my bed. So I don't even have to really open my eyes to get what I need to do. Exactly. And let me tell you, sometimes when I'm waking up earlier than normal, it's really necessary that it's just the motor memory thing, because otherwise, not sure it would happen. The next thing that I like to do after taking my medication is kind of sitting there and having a Zen moment. I think some people...
moment of Zen.
Ooh.
TM.
TM. Yeah, you heard it here first. So I think this is something that most people would consider meditation, but it's pretty unguided and pretty free. So what I have is I have 2 alarms. One is for when I wake up, take my medicine, kind of just become aware of the day. And then the other one is for 5 minutes afterward, so that I can take 5 minutes to work on just clearing my mind and letting go of anything perhaps that was stressful about the weekend, or if I didn't get any great sleep, I can kind of like have a moment to think about, okay, here's what I'm grateful for. I'm glad I'm here. Let's start the day off in the right way. Yeah. Okay. That too. And then the next thing I do, which is very special to me, this is what pulls out the in me, is this is a special journal that I have for all things spirituality.
It's
you might
gilded.
say, you know,
fancy.
Some of us are fancy. So in this journal, what I do is I really just kind of take notes of anything that is on my heart, spiritually speaking. Did I lose you?
There are like 12 Saturns out there.
We'll write a strongly worded letter about actual planetary accuracy, but you know.
It's a different galaxy.
It's a different video for another time. All right, so when I'm doing my spiritual journal, one of the things that I do that keeps me feeling aligned spiritually is I pull a different tarot card every morning. Oh. Yeah, it's really fun for me to have some sort of guide for what to reflect on every day. Nice. And so what I like to do is pull a card every morning and think about what does that card mean, and therefore how can it impact my day?
Yeah.
So I just pull what the deck is, This most recent
it's
one
upside down.
was the Fool reversed. And what I like to do is in each of the pages, just write something real quick about what that sounds like to me, what it means to me after I read the meaning in my tarot card deck explainer. So that's something that really kind of helps me get started in a, oh, I am level and ready to face the day type of way.
Ooh.
And then there's two more things that I like to do before I am just ready. My very own Vanna White. Ooh, I can get used to this.
Or Pat Sajak.
Yes, or Pat Sajak.
Because Pat also has turned the letters.
You know, I didn't know that.
He did. He turned the letters for a minute.
Wow.
Because there was a reason, but that's an episode for another day.
We are going to come back to that, though, because now I have to know. The first of those two things is this. This is called the Thoughtful Journal.
Oh.
And I really, really love this. This is made by a company called Blue Sky. They do different sorts of journals. Yep. Blue Sky. And what I love about them is that they have very introspective questions that are good for starting your week and your month with.
Ooh.
So I like to look at the beginning where it says, this week I want to do more of and less of.
Oh.
And so I try to write those down on a Monday morning especially, and then throughout the week I still open this up and I look at those things and I try to keep them top of mind, and it really just helps me keep my focus and my priorities where they need to be.
Wow.
And
Hot darn.
Hot darn. Oh my goodness. It's like we teleported to the Midwest. Tune in for our next video about how to make the best casserole. All right.
Hot dish. Hot dish.
Sorry. Oh, forgive me. How could I? In my defense, I'm Southern. Anyhow, my last component of it is not specifically this book, although this is a good one.
It is a book.
This is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. It is very good so far, but I'm only halfway through, so no spoilers. But something that I like to do is there are two end tables on either side of my bed. And so on one, the rest of us adults who have our minds completely outside of the gutter, of course, I have a nice fiction book that I'm keeping along with that I just like to read a little bit of each day. So sometimes I'm only able to do about 10 minutes in the morning. Sometimes I have a laxer morning, and so I can do like 30 minutes, which feels like a luxury.
Wow. Yes, indeed.
The other end table actually has a book that's more about self-help. So actually, Nady mentioned earlier that their book that they read for December was Everything is Figure-Outable. And guess what my current self-help book is? So I love to split my time between those two things. They just isn't this commercial, Betty? Isn't this commercial? I feel like I should call now to set up for 3 easy payments of $39.95 and get whatever it is this one's offering. Oh, beautiful. But I like to kind of end my routine in that way because I really feel like it puts a good opening on my day. I've gone somewhere else in my mind, so I've either learned something or I've been able to use my imagination by reading some fiction, and it just makes me feel good that I'm able to integrate reading into my day-to-day life.
Ooh, and who doesn't love that?
Thanks. Oh, goodness gracious.
I'm feeling energized just talking about it.
You know?
If you subscribe to our newsletter, you can get all those details spilled out for you. We spill the beans in detail, so check it out below. You can find out where to subscribe to both our newsletter as well as to this channel. Hello.
Yes. And we'll be back next time to talk about ways to infuse self-care into your weekly routine.
Oh, dang.
Ooh, we promise it'll be much more exciting than it sounds.
And until then, thank you for tuning in and thank you for being you.
Bye.